2 for $4.99, or Uncle Ray's potato chips, 8-ounce bags, 2 for $6.
Don't get sidelined without your supplies this football season. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Hear the best SEC talk in America on the Paul Feinbaum Show with me, Paul Feinbaum. Weekdays 3 to 7 on ESPN 92.5 and 1300 AM.
Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
Welcome back. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM. You know what I'd love to be? A fly on the wall in both the Kentucky and Louisville locker rooms. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. Look, I don't know if we'll ever find out the exact truth. It'll be leaked, and it already has been, and it's based upon a third-party perspective based upon either Pope or Kelsey sharing with somebody. So there was some sort of disagreement between Pope and Kelsey having to do with Tay Kinney, a big-time recruit that right now neither Kentucky or Louisville is going to get, but things change. It's a great player. They both were going to be there at midnight to get the first shot on September 2nd. It's interesting it's taken this long for the story to get out, and Pope was a little late, and then Kelsey, I guess, went in because he wasn't waiting for Pope, and then Pope said something. I don't know who's at fault. Could be nobody at fault. I'm not throwing stones at anyone, really. Just because I'm sitting in Lexington, I'm not throwing a stone at Louisville. And if I was sitting in Louisville, I wouldn't throw a stone at Lexington. I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know. But Jacob Polachek, who does a very good job for KSR, got some confirmation of the story. And so he will join us at 12:15. Can't wait to hear his take. I mean, just can't wait. That just sounds lovely. Then at 12:30, dear friend Shane Boyd, going into the Lexington African American Hall of Fame, will join us at 12:30. Another Hall of Famer, Hal McCoy, in the Baseball Hall of Fame, joins us a ton during the baseball season, will be at 1. And another Hall of Famer from the Lexington African American Hall of Fame, Littleton Ward, will join us at 1:30. In between, there's a bunch of sound I'd like to get on. We shall see. Let me give a little hat tip to BBN, who gets the interviews first. They did a one-on-one with Yelovich, and I loved what he said about talking to Pope. He committed without talking to his agent. He committed right away on the phone. He said, yeah, everybody knows about Kentucky. I just wanted to be here. And then Pope goes, hey, you better tell your agent. And then whatever deal they worked out. He just wanted to be here. I think that's beautiful. That's kind of like, it sounds like almost the same exact thing when Pope committed to Mitch. You know, one, I got to check with the missus. That's smart, very wise. And then it's like, yeah, fill in the blanks. And Mitch gave him a hell of a deal. Mitch is generous. It's all good. But if you want to be someplace, you want to be someplace. One of the things I'm going to push again, and I've pushed this many times, and Sean, I don't know how many times you've heard me say this, but I'm watching Buffalo last night, and they're big on tight ends. And I promise you, this baffles the crap out of me when it comes to Stoops. Think about this. Mark, if you're listening, listen to Alan Cutler. I'm serious, by the way. If some of you are saying I'm turning the dial because you're using your ego, no, listen to what I'm saying. Mark Stoop wants to play smash mouth football. Okay. Buffalo often uses how many tight ends? Two. What seems to be, from the last game, a strength of Kentucky, tight ends. And Boyer, not the first or second team, but the kid who came in from Illinois, he's a huge man. Could I see him in the NFL, even if he's third and catches? Yes, because guess what? He'll punch you in the mouth. And so Buffalo plays smash mouth football. The wide receivers aren't doing a lot. I'm not talking about negating wide receivers and not recruiting. Hey, come on, stop it. But I'm saying whatever your strength is, a coach's job is to have a style and then adjust the coach's style to the personnel that he has. You got tight ends. You got two studly running backs. Actually make it three. And before the season, I said four, but I've discounted Wilcox. I just am. Not going to get into the reasons why. He's, as far as I'm concerned, until he comes back, he's not back. And so I've washed him off. Hope the kid is innocent. You know, an accusation like that, it bothers me. And I hope he's innocent. I really do. I hope everybody's innocent. That's not the point. When you have running backs like this, by the way, McCowan is second in the country in rushing touchdowns. He's got 6 and 7 games. The only one who had a better start was George Adams. That was Corey Price's stat, because it's Corey, that we used earlier in the week. Adams from Lafayette High. I covered him in high school. Studley running back for Kentucky, first-round draft choice for the New York Giants. When you have somebody like this, who's 25th nationally in rushing, who's 5th in the SEC with 275 yards, and you hope that L is fine. It's a thigh. Thighs can be bad. Thighs can be good. Let's see if he's back. I have no clue. And Patterson, who had 13 carries for 80 yards, and I keep on saying, you got to give him the ball more. You have running backs. It's a wonderful stable of running backs. I'm not going to say it's the best stable of running backs Kentucky has, because I don't believe it. Do I think it's in the top 10? Absolutely. Going back to Bear Bryant, by the way. Okay? Somewhere in the top 10. So use your strength. Play smash. You want to be smash mouth? You got tight ends. You brought in a kid from Illinois who's a monster. Other years you would have started. He's your third. Get him on the field more. I'm just saying. Okay, let's go to Jacob. Jacob is in the hopper. Give me a thumbs up. I don't see his face yet. And let's give this young man some credit. He has done this show before. And Jacob, how are you? You had a nice tidbit. You know what? I got to tell you right now. You know, Keith Farmer and I are dear friends. We go back forever. He used to have red hair like that, but he's old. It's fallen out, and it's not the color anymore. I think you could make great friends with Keith Farmer if you would give him some of your rich red hair.
So I couldn't hear you there for a minute. But
It's okay. I'm teasing about your red hair. Keith's family is everybody's got red hair except for Keith. It's amazing, the domination of his lovely bride. Neither here nor there. So he could use some of your red hair. Okay, Jacob KSR, I have no clue. And I wonder if we'll ever find out the truth. And it's going to be asked about. And I would love to be in the locker room of the Kentucky and the Louisville kids going, what? Coach did what? Was there a fight? Did he hit him? Did he curse him out? Did Mark Pope use a full-letter word? How loud did it get? Did it get in somebody's? I have no clue. I find the whole thing freaking humorous is like crazy. Humorous. And I'm going to tell you. I'm going to stop in a second. Then I want you to, Jacob, I want you to go off. Their relationship will never be the same. I don't give a crap what anybody says. I don't give a crap when they say, oh, we've made up and we're fine. Come on. Now, Cal and Pitino, that was a little different. Okay. This could end up being like, I doubt that because their personalities are so positive. But here's the key. And I'm going to stop after this. You have two alphas. Okay. You have an alpha dog and you have an alpha dog. You have an alpha dog who's done a hell of a job at Kentucky, and you have an alpha dog who's done a hell of a job at Louisville. That's the truth. They're both positive guys. But when you cross the line of anybody, other things come out. So, Jacob Politic, you had a source. You're not going to tell me. I'm not going to ask you. That's not how the real world goes. Who said there was something that happened. You tell the story as the way you understand it. And I want to be careful here. I mean, serious, because I respect the hell out of you, what you're doing in getting that. But I wonder if you know 100% of the story, or you say, I got the temperature really good, and really that is good enough. So you tell me, Jacob. But thanks for joining me, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'm not going to come here and say I know 100% of the story. I can only go off what I was told. But and I do have to give some credit to Big Blue Bud, who first unveiled this on Twitter. And when that happened, I started sending some texts, making some calls to some people being like, hey, is this true? Basically trying to shoot it down because I thought it was so outlandish. And then I got people coming back to me being like, yeah, this is true. And so I talked to some people who basically told me that on that first night that coaches could go in and meet with recruits, Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey both had appointments to go meet with Tay Kinney. at his apartment in Atlanta, and Mark Pope had that midnight slot booked, I guess, to go see Tay Kinney, and he was running a little bit late, so Pat Kelsey wound up going to meet with Kinney. Pope showed up. I guess was upset that Kelsey had taken his spot, that midnight slot. I was told a verbal altercation ensued. I think that it
Stop
was.
you. I got to stop you. Okay. What is your definition? You're doing great. And you know what I really appreciate? I'm being serious now, how honest you were from the get-go. That's really cool. My respect for you was really good to begin with. I think you're a really good young reporter. It went up. You're not BSing me. You're telling whatever. But what is your because I know what altercation is. I live in altercation. Who are we kidding? But what is your definition and your feeling of altercation? Please answer, and then Jacob, keep on going.
Yeah, based on what I was told, there was no physical altercation. Nothing physical.
I got to stop you again. Did anybody tell you there was something physical, or you were just checking it out?
No, I was just checking out, seeing if there was anything physical. I know the original tweet, somebody said that Big Blue Bud said that they almost I can't remember the exact phrasing, but they almost got into a fight. I was told it wasn't to the point of almost getting into a fist fight, nothing that crazy, but there was certainly some animosity from what I was told. Definitely some bad blood, I guess, is how you would phrase it. Just some animosity was the word that kept coming up in my conversations during that conversation. It wasn't very lighthearted, I would say.
I like that. It wasn't very lighthearted. Now, Jacob, this is the second most important question. I want you to give this great thought. Do you think it's possible that Mark, Mr. Clean Pope, actually used a word with 4 letters in it?
I don't know, but I won't. I'm not going to count it out for anybody to say that word. It's a pretty popular word, and when you get in the heat of the moment, I can never blame someone for using a few swear words.
Oh, I wouldn't blame him either, by the way. But don't you think there's a curiosity because he comes across as so squeaky clean? And if he did, you really think with my potty mouth I care? But I think there are people interested. That's where I'm coming from, Jacob.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Let me tell you the truth, and I bet this doesn't surprise you. I don't remember where I saw it first. There was, the picture with the headlock in the Kentucky Louisville, and I want to get into that in a second. And then I'm sorry, I don't remember where I saw it put. It wasn't you. Somebody put something up, and I'm going, this crap is AI generated. I mean, I initially going with all the BS going on. I'm going, I don't buy this stuff. And then, and I got to tell you, I trust you, so you had credibility. When I saw that you said your sources said so-and-so, I liked it for a couple reasons. One, I believe you. And two, which is important to me in my world. And two, you were reporting on what you heard. I didn't see you pontificating was my guess, and you're amplifying it now. So that's a compliment. But do you think there are some people said, oh, this has got to be a bunch of crap, right?
That the fight never happened, you're saying?
Oh, no, that there was any kind of, altercation, because you see the headline and somebody said fight and this and that and the other. And I just laughed at it.
Yeah, like I said, when I first heard about this, I thought it was false. I did not believe it. But then you talk to enough people who you believe are reliable, have shown to be reliable, and you're like, okay, well, if enough people are saying this, enough people close to the situation, then yeah, you have to believe it at some point.
Okay, so I'm a simple man in spite of my big mouth, okay? And I'm pretty good at going 1 + 1 = 2. Hang with me a second, Jacob. And I really believed that there was something else there with that, would you call it a headlock, with the emotion that came out when Kentucky and Louisville, you're at Rupp Arena, I'm at Rupp Arena. I mean, the tension was beautiful. I mean, that's kind of beautiful tension and that kind of stuff. And then it gets you a little bit out of your zone. And I'm thinking at that moment, I have no idea this is going to happen. Come on. I'm thinking at that moment, one of these two parties ain't never going to forget this. That's where I'm coming from. And I really believe, and maybe, Sean, you want to play psychologist, not with your mouth full, but that's okay. But I almost need to get a psychologist on the air to say, okay, if that happened to you and you are a big name, Kelsey is a big name. He's not Mike Krzyzewski, but he's made himself into a big name. Mark Pope isn't Mike Krzyzewski, but he's made himself into a big name. I respect both coaches, by the way. But when a shorter guy gets put in a headlock by a 6'10" guy, you don't forget that crap. And so now I'm thinking, psychologically speaking, boom, there's a moment, and that's in Kelsey's cranium. It's got to be in his cranium, no matter what happens. So what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that that's something that you just kind of lock away, forget about, and completely forget it happened. I'm sure that he remembers that, and it all just kind of builds. Every interaction, every altercation, it all builds. So you have to imagine that had maybe something to do with some of the griping between the two.
Instinct takes over. So is your feeling of this, Pope had an appointment, he was late. Kelsey says, screw you, you're late, I'm walking in. Is that what you think this was? And then Pope maybe saying something, what did you think? I don't know, but what's the temperature?
Yeah, I think that's really as simple as it was Pope had the early spot. Kelsey got there before Pope, decided to start his meeting. Pope wasn't happy about that, and an argument ensued. That's kind of how it was told to me, and it would all add up.
Now, you have a feel as to how long that argument, words, altercation, whatever you want to call it, was this 20 seconds? Was this 30 seconds? Was this 10 minutes? Do you have a feel the length of the improprieties based upon the lack of love that's going on between Kelsey and Pope?
I don't really have a great feel. I don't think it was very long. I know Jeff Goodman said that that it all happened pretty closely to midnight, which adds up with what I was told. And I don't think it was a long drawn out thing, but I think that based on Jeff Goodman's reporting, it sounds like there was something at the beginning when they were going in at first, and then something on the way out when they were both done meeting with him. So I don't think usually these recruiting meetings don't last a whole lot of time. So I don't think it was a long drawn out thing, but it was certainly significant, I'd say. Okay.
Do you find it interesting? Because I do, that this happened on September 2nd. And more than 2 weeks later, this comes out. Do you find, I find that fascinating of the length of time. And by the way, would I have been shocked if it came out the next day with somebody texting somebody, an assistant or somebody, that kind of thing, boom, 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 boom. No. Don't you find it interesting it took this long for this story to get out?
Yeah, I do, especially because after the pictures from that visit came out, there was so much talk about, oh, how'd this all go down? You have Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey both meeting with the same recruit at midnight. Yeah. And so many like loose rumors of like, what if they got in a fight? But it never really popped up on my radar. And then I saw that tweet from Big Blue Bud, and I was like, oh, this might be something. Let me reach out to some people. So, and the people I talked to, they were right away with what happened. So, yeah, it's interesting that it took this long to come out, and and when it did, people were willing to talk.
Anything else about this we haven't covered? And again, you do a hell of a job, dude. You got a future in the business.
I appreciate it. I don't think so. I think that's really everything that I've heard, and it was certainly a recruiting story I'm not used to telling.
Let's put it this way: your blood. Did you get a rush when you're doing a story like that? Were your blood going up? Oh, I got to talk to the next person. Did you get a rush?
I get excited, and I also get nervous of like, all right, who's telling the truth here? What's going on? But when you hear it from enough people, you get excited that, okay, this thing's all adding up.
Okay, can I give you a definition of nervous?
Yeah.
That I learned a long time ago. And if this it helped me tremendously, by the way. That it might not take for you, might not mean anything for you, and anybody else who's listening who gets nervous. Nervous is just energy. Hang with me. Nervous is negative energy. So if you can control the nervousness or recognize when it happens and say, gosh, when I'm 72, my age, I wish there'd be something I would be nervous about, which makes me chuckle, and then say, this is a rush. And when you train your mind, if you do it the first time, God bless you. It might not be the first time. But if you say to yourself, and anybody out there who does anything in their life with energy, listen to this. If it can help you, great. Then if I help one person, to me, that's a good thing. This has helped me, and I've helped other people this way. They go, I get it. If you say, I'm lucky to have this energy. This is really cool. Jacob, you do something for a living that you like and care about so much that you get energy. You get energy. And so the next time it happens, even if you have to write yourself a note, energy. Okay, this is cool. Now you just keep on doing what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. If I didn't get nervous about it, I probably wouldn't be doing my due diligence. So
well, and that's true too, but you can feel the rush and still do your due diligence. I got one more, and I'm not embarrassing you. Sean, give me a thumbs up because he's shoving food in his mouth for 10 minutes. Sean, you know who George Burns was? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, sure do.
Okay. You know who George Burns was, Jacob? And if you didn't, I'm not ripping you, I promise.
No, but I got his Wikipedia pulled up right on my computer right next to you.
You're fast, dude. So one of the great comedians of all time. And he was doing comedy late in his 90s. Used to never without the big cigar. And Burns and Allen, his wife, they were a great comedy team. And he always said his wife, who acted like a dummy, she was the smart one. She knew how to play a role. He and Carson were very close. He used to drink at the Friars Club all the time, whatever. And so I didn't watch Johnny Carson that much. You do know who Johnny Carson is, right?
I do know who Johnny Carson is, yes.
Well, I'm 3 generations older than you, Jacob. So basically, Carson asked, do you still get nervous before you perform? He takes a hit of his big cigar, and it says, if I don't get nervous, and the day that happens, I'm going to quit. And then he said, that's just energy. And I appreciate the fact that at my age, I still get energy. Did the Bengals radio network for 14 years. And the guy who ran the booth, who was the sports director of all the sports up there, and he does a great job. Yeah. 10 seconds before you go on there, because sometimes the booth will get really loud. He'd go, cut man, stand by. I mean, louder than that, but loud enough for radio. And everybody would just be quiet because we got to go on the air, and I open things up. It's all good. And at that moment, I would always get a rush. 14 years doing it, I still got a rush. And I talked to Ian about it one time. He gave me a funny look and then went, oh, I get it. And I told him, if I don't get a rush, then there's something wrong. I'm not ready for the broadcast. And I still get a rush doing this, for what it's worth. And I hope that lesson was for somebody else as well. I like you enough to share that with you, so maybe you can learn it before you're 25 instead of at 72. Does that make sense?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anything else you want to add about Kentucky basketball, football, the Pope thing? Your one comment would be, because I got to run, and I appreciate your time.
No, just there's a lot going on in Kentucky basketball recruiting, so we're gonna have a fun couple of months coming up. Okay,
Jacob, you do a hell of a job for KSR. Give yourself a great plug for Twitter and everything else you do, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, well, go subscribe to KSR Plus, where you can find all my work, and you can find me on Twitter at Polachek KSR. Got all this recruiting stuff coming your way soon.
Good. Hey, Jacob, thank you. Congratulations. Did a hell of a job last night. Don't be nervous. Energy, dude. Enjoy the energy. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Sean, I'm telling you, this is a great young man. I really like the kid. I've been reading his stuff. That's why I asked him to come on a while ago. I'm going, oh, this kid's got his you-know-what together. It's a good story. And the fact that he wasn't stretching it, what he was told, played straight-up reporter, talked to a bunch of people. Sean, that's really good.
Yeah, it really is. And kudos to him for going digging.
Yeah, digging, go for the story. Hey, don't forget about the Quantrill Auto Group. They have a great deal. I think most of you know the Outback is a special vehicle. So check this out, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out for 72 months, it's 1.9% for 72 months. What a deal. 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget the Quantrill family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise to get you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks. We have 2 cars from Quantrill. I trust them. Come on in from Danville. Come on in, take the drive from Louisville. We have folks listening in Louisville and Cincinnati and all over. You can get a Subaru there, but this group The Quantrill Auto Group is terrific. I trust them. Hall of Famer Shane Boyd coming up next. Thank you, Jacob. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrill Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313. Hi, this is Alan Cutler. The Quantrill Auto Group has a great deal for this month. Subaru. The Outback is special, so check this out. 0%. That's right, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out to 72 months, 1.9%. What a deal. 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget, the Quantrill family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hybrid Springwater and ESPN Lexington present one of the most revered and incredible guitarists in the world, Tommy Emmanuel, Tuesday, October 14th. Tickets on sale right now at the historic Kentucky Theater in Lexington.
I'm Kathy Bingaman. Over the holiday, there was an attempted fraud attack. My personal banker, Mary Rose, and I networked together, and the first thing that I thought of was I have to text her. And it was just within the next few minutes, there was an entire team that came together collectively. And that's just not the type of service that you typically get from your bank.
That's Kathy's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
Down, set, hack. Corn dogs coming in for the blitz.
Rick, what are you doing?
Brent, I'm practicing my snack plays for the next football game.
Well, in that case, Uncle Rick, stop by any Clutch Stop and Shop and pick up 5-hour energy shots, 2 for $4.99, or Uncle Ray's potato chips, 8-ounce bags, 2 for $6.
Don't get sidelined without your supplies this football season. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Discovered you're bad at sports wagering? Brad Taylor can help. The Bottom Line with Brad Taylor, presented by Circus Sports. Weekdays at 2 on ESPN 92.5 and 1300. Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
I liked how decisive he was, throwing the ball down the field. More than anything, I loved the vertical runs, and just when things were there, I thought he made plays, but when things weren't there, it's the ability to provide a spark and go run for a first down, which certainly helps us. So we just got to keep playing with that kind of energy because that's critical in those moments.
That is Bush Hamden talking about Cutter Boley, and instead of playing that soundbite, now that I see my friend Shane Boyd, we should have played the song "To the Good Life." He's doing his conversation with me. He's got his goggles on. He's wearing a robe. He looks like he's swimming. The beautiful sky is behind you. To the good life. To the good life. Shane, mazel tov, congratulations going into the Lexington African American Hall of Fame, so richly deserved. I'm really proud of you. How are you? Look at this. You broke away from the swimming pool to hang out with me for about 15 to 20. I appreciate it, man.
Listen, before this whole thing commenced, I Googled life of a Hall of Famer, right? And there was a list of things that came up, and one of them said you got to be next to some water with some green trees in the background with your goggles on. So all I'm doing is following directions. I mean, that's what I think kind of made me successful is just being able to follow directions. So I looked at the Google search, and this is what being in the Hall of Fame is supposed to look like. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm even doing it right. I threw on some goggles. I got these from the dollar store. These are the hotel issued towels. I got an eye on my kids. They're right here in my view. Wife is in there doing double duty as well. So I'm just out here. I'm just faking it till I make it. Well, I guess I did make it. I'm making it tomorrow. I guess I don't know.
You made it a long time ago. To the good life. Let me tell you what. Sometimes Google is a beautiful thing. It's just a
Yes.
beautiful thing. You know,
Yes.
in your smile right now, we don't push the YouTube, we started doing it, whatever. Anybody watching on YouTube now sees your smile. It's effervescent. You're going ear to ear. I mean, I see, because we know each other so well, I see the joy in your face from all the hard work you did to get to this point. I mean, you never know where you're going to end up. I don't think you knew. I know I didn't know that kind of thing, but the hard work got you to this point. It's really cool.
I mean, it's one of those things where just as us athletes, we don't look for individual accolades. We don't play for awards and this, that, and the other. Let's say the real gladiators of sport. Like they play for their team. They play for their families, their friends. They have certain motivations, but it's usually never to receive an individual accolade for most of us. Let's say that. But especially me, like all I did was just try to play the game the right way. And the right way is being there for my team. And when you think about these type of awards and when these things are given to you, it's not an individual thing because when you speak of me at quarterback, I can't block for myself. I can't catch for myself. I can't stop the other team from scoring and get the ball back to the offense. So there's these things, all these things that come into play when somebody gets an individual accolade, and that's my whole deal with this. This is surely a community thing from the time I've grown up to all the way up until I retired, and even then on. This is a community thing, and it also includes you, brother. I know how unfiltered you've been my whole career. So even it's funny that you call your thing now unfiltered with you right now. But when I say that, I speak of that because there are people that help tell the story. And there are people who do it right and people who really do their research and people who give an honest assessment of what they're seeing and the people that they're covering. And this is just me giving you your flowers, as you was one of those people that always made sure that I was looked at in the right kind of light. Even in my down moments, even when we weren't winning or this, that, and the other, you still found a way to let me know, yeah, you better get better. You need to do better. But we understand the work that you're putting in. We understand who you are. And as it relates to you, I never felt um, any negativity coming for you. I felt truthness. And we've had some talks that we won't that we will leave filtered on this show, but to help guide me throughout my career, even when I was younger at Henry Clay. See what happens when you do the Hall of Fame thing? I get flies flying around me, little bees and everything. But I always appreciated that about you, and there was others as well. But you always one of the ones, even after the fact, you also stayed in contact. I mean, the fact that I'm on your show now, it's around the Hall of Fame, but you always made sure that we stayed in each other's lives. I mean, I don't know if people seen where, you was out in Oregon and we had a grand old time on Nike's campus. I mean, that just speaks to when you think about a relationship, a working relationship. But, outside of professionalism, like we're friends. And that always meant something to me because to a lot of athletes, the media is not our friend. So I appreciate that.
And you've always been able to dissect who you can trust, who you can't trust. See, what I don't like, I always feel bad for an athlete who trusts no one in the media. And there are people in the media you shouldn't trust. And I always respected more somebody who said, okay, I'm going to think about this. And okay, I can trust this person, don't trust that person. And you've always been like that, which I says that has a lot to do with what's between the ears, which is what you have to play quarterback. Let me throw a couple things at you. By the way, and we put the pictures up at the time. The day, because Shane, I started talking to Sean in the studio. Shane invited me to go to the Nike campus, and he basically told me off the record, so it didn't go on the air, that if you're ever going to come to the Nike campus, you better do it now. I might not be here next year, and now you're in Detroit, and you told me on the side and all that kind of stuff, because we go out to Oregon, and you've invited me before, and that was one spectacular day. That campus is unbelievable, but the joy of not only spending the day with you, but how others respected you and treated you and looked up to you, and you were just Shane, just going around and saying hi to so many people was ridiculous with the smiles you got. I felt good as an old guy friend just watching how people reacted to you. Besides the fact I've never seen anything like that campus. I mean, there's so many buildings, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I tell anybody, if you can get out that way, go and see it. Currently, I'm not physically there right now, but if there's anything, like if you need any direction, I can surely help and maybe set up like a tour of sort. But it's amazing, just like you saw. And then you talk about that smile that I had. You had a big Kool-Aid smile, riding around on bikes and just having a good time and seeing. When you think about when people maybe just look at what's on their feet or what shirt or workout type of apparel that they're wearing, to really get a feel of like, okay, this is where it starts, and then it filters out to the whole world. And it was always a surreal moment for me while I was up there. It was like, this is just amazing. We're in these meetings, we come up with these ideas, we put it into motion, we launch it, and then you just start to see all these stories pouring in with people doing amazing and great things all across the world, and they're wearing the product that you created. It's just always a surreal moment. And I've never been a sneakerhead, but I go from not being a sneakerhead to making shoes for sneakerheads, and shoes that people just adore. And that's always pretty awesome just to continue to see when I'm going through airports. I mean, just in every corner of where I go at, I see the work that my amazing teams have put together, and you see people just enjoying life in them. So that's always a awesome moment. And then also just to speak on with, like, when we was on campus and people know me. I mean, I went on that campus really only knowing my wife. And then as time went on, the whole campus kind of knows me. And I was blessed to win awards. I won the top award at Nike for my work on some projects that I did, doing speaking on campus. So it was just awesome just to gain that momentum and to see how I'm received. And by part, like how I'm received in Lexington, is how they, and all throughout Kentucky, it was like I was starting to get that kind of love out in Oregon. And that was just pretty awesome to just see and feel every single day. I tell people I never have a bad day at Nike. There's some challenging days, but I never have a bad day at Nike. It's just an amazing place to work.
One of the 23 new inductees to the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame, the class of 2025, Shane Boyd, kind enough to join us. Shane, I used AI, I used Google, and I get frustrated even to this age when I can't get an answer. Spend about 25 minutes, which is a long time to try to look up a stat. Trust me. I mean, sometimes, I don't expect to get it instantly, but this became so difficult. I'm thinking somebody's got to make a big deal of this somewhere. Some columnist who wants to spend a lot of time on this could do a great column. Here's what I'm coming. You have that look like, I don't know where he's coming from, but I think I still trust him. Okay. So I covered the game in 2003. You were the stud when Kentucky won 35-14 over Ohio University, and you didn't account for 1, 2, 3, but 4 touchdowns. But here's the thing that's crazy. Via the run, via the pass, via the reception. 3 different ways. 3 different ways you ran for TDs of 8 and 12 yards. This I had to look up. I knew you had a couple touchdowns, but you think I'm going to remember 8 and 12 yards. Come on, I'm not that good. And you hit Tommy Cook, who was a really nice receiver, for 42-yard touchdown pass, and you scored on a 30-yard screen pass by your buddy Jared Lorenz. It's unbelievable. So I'm going, okay, you're coming on. And I'm going, how many people have done this 3 different ways in college football? Can't be many. I couldn't come up with an answer. And I tried, and it can't be that. There needs to be a list. There needs to be something in the record book saying who. I don't care if you're a tailback, wide receiver. I don't care. I don't care. If you can score TDs that many different ways and get 4, dude, you should be in the record book. I'm serious. Could there be 20 people in the history of college football that have done it? Probably, but no.
I would be interested in that number, because how I tell the story is that, and if one, that was an awesome memory. I even got that pinned on my my Twitter X feed thing. And when I look back on it, just to see myself, like I'm looking at it as like a fan now. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing for somebody to do that. And then I click back into like, oh yeah, that was me. Like I didn't, that was me. I really did that. And that was just awesome to experience. And before that, I think the only person before that, and I think the first person ever was Jacquez Green for Florida. Jacquez Green for Florida did it first. And then I think was the second person, maybe in history. And now people can fact check this, and I don't care if I'm the second or whatever it is. It's amazing. I don't care who does it and how many times it's done. If it's done, it is simply amazing. Be able to catch one, throw one, and run one in a game. It's just hard enough to get one,
Right.
let alone be able to do it that many ways. And not to go on this emotional tangent, but to be able to receive a touchdown from one of my great friends, Jerry Lorenzen. I mean, that's just one of those things that you just can't replace when you think when in your memory bank. So that was an awesome game. That was an awesome time. That was an awesome moment. Huh? Daddy's on the interview. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, how are you?
This is Cashel. He's gonna be a big one. He's over 100% tile in height. He just turned 5.
Wow.
Big old kid. So
Castle,
he's
how
gonna
are
be
you?
awesome.
Do you know your dad scored 4 touchdowns in one game? 2.
he says a good job. Maybe you'll think I'm cool now.
Castle, there's a little bit more. Is he gone? If he's gone, oh,
Bye, Dad, buddy.
my daddy gave you a kiss. By the way, if you're on Facebook, one of the joys that I get, which continues our relationship, the stuff you do with your whole family and the pictures and stuff, and it just, I'm not surprised you're a great family man, but it's just nice to see, and the pictures always warm my heart. So it's a beautiful thing. When you say great friend, Jared Lorenzen, I used the picture in that challenge when two of you dumped ice water over me, so I put it on social media because you and Jared, because you were so close, ganged up on me and enjoyed the you know what at a ganging up on me. And it reminded me of the story you told me when Jared passed, and you wrote this very poignant and long and beautiful tribute to Jared. It had me with tears. And one of the things you said was, you will miss competing for cookies, that you guys would stand like at the 50-yard line, if I remember right. Is that what it was, 50?
I wasn't a 50. It might have been like anywhere between like 20 and 30.
Okay.
20 and 30. We put the garbage can in the in the corner of the end zone.
And you were trying to do what?
Work on bucket tosses, on basically just throwing that fade route and dropping it in the bucket.
Yeah.
So it doesn't land out of bounds. It's over the defensive back, and then the receiver can catch it and toe tap in the corner of the end zone.
And the winner got cookies.
And the winner, well, it was just the winner got cookies. We both got cookies. We both eating the cookies now. It was just a matter of
how
who
many
served the cookies to the other quarterback first.
Okay.
So here's your cookies, Mr. Lorenzen. And then as soon as he touches his first one, I get back and we eat them together. So it was just about who had to go and get them, which required very little bit of work, but it was just one of them things. You go get my cookies and bring them back to the room because we room together.
And the who gets the cookies, I mean, the smile on your face when Jared had to deliver, or the smile on his face when you had to deliver, had to be worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was also one of those things where, Coach Mummy would have us do that to basically kind of loosen us up, because we always done it like the day before the game. Or before we kind of closed out our game plan and got ready to play. So it was always something to lighten the load of the rigors of the whole week, preparing to play. And then it's like, all right, let's just finish with some milk and cookies. Like, who's not going to smile and be at ease when you got some milk and cookies sitting in front of you? So it was kind of a way for us to start to kind of wrap up and wind down before we went into war.
One doesn't have to coach, but I always thought you would make, and I mean this sincerely, a great head coach for 2 reasons. Partly because your knowledge, which is great, and partly because of how you treat people and have a feel for people and how you always were a gatherer in getting people together. And my gosh, you played for 4 offensive coordinators at Kentucky. You've seen every system under the sun. It's almost, and I'm going to say this, you probably won't, and that's okay. It's almost cruel to have any young person having to play under 4 different offensive coordinators in 4 years. Criminal is too strong of a word, but you understand the temperature I'm coming from. So you had all these things that you had to learn and change and numbers and this and that and the other and where guys are going and moving guys. And now it's spring and you're thinking, oh, well, that play was last year. Oh, I better change this now. And you got the studying you had to do to learn all that stuff. In a way, I was kind of sad you didn't become a coach because I think you would help so many young people who need help. But that's me.
No, you're on the right path. I mean, I still do a lot of helping. It's just not as the head coach. And I've done a little bit of coaching. I helped out at Kentucky State. I was the quarterback coach down there. I was over at the Lexington School, helped out over there with Jeremiah Bell and Pennington. We had an all-star coaching staff over there for middle school. We should have won the national title with the coaching staff we had over there assembled. But I still help, I still mentor, I still coach. No, I'm just not in a setting of being the head coach to where I just have one team under me, but that's something that maybe could be in the future. I'm still figuring out life. My birthday was yesterday. I turned 43, so I'm still a young man, I guess. Per se.
Okay. 1, happy birthday. I should have known that. And 2, I'm struggling because this is all about me. You know that. You're 43? Yes. I've known you since you're 16.
Yes.
Wow.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, it really is crazy. Okay,
but it's I'm still in that realm, and I still help out. I help coach my son's team up in Detroit, so I'm still there. I'm still out there. I'm also starting to see what it looks like and see kind of what momentum can gain from it to be able to help people. But I'm gonna start coaching quarterbacks. So anybody who has a quarterback who wants to see their son or daughter get better in the game of football from the quarterback standpoint, I'm going to be here. Got a lot of resources, got a lot of knowledge. And you just vouch for me. I'm good with people. So I look forward to that and just kind of helping mold the next generations of quarterbacks. So I'm going to see what that's about and just kind of build from that. And you never know where I'll pop up, but I'm open to travel, open to do whatever it is, virtual coaching, whatever it is, and just be able to just help people.
We finally disagree. You're not good with people. You're great with people. 1.
Oh, thank you. 2, I appreciate that.
When you get it going, send me the information and then also come back and let's give it a great plug. Do you have something to plug now or it's something you're putting together?
I mean, it's something I'm putting together. But
okay.
I started. You can go on my just type in Shane Boyd on Instagram, and you'll see it pop up. My name is DAP DAP _elite. DAP DAP _elite. And that's just my initial Instagram handle that I created just to have a landing point right now. And I'll start to put some information out there so people can kind of understand, for the people who don't know me, who I am, kind of what I bring to the table, and what I'll be able to supply and help with the development of quarterbacks to take them to the next level. One thing I always be, because just like you and many people with me is, I'll be 100% real with kids. And I think that's something that we're missing, being able to coach them the right way, have realistic goals and continue to grow from that. So that's something I'm excited about. Just to be able to help people moving forward.
When you get it all together, text me. Also come back. We'll push it like crazy. Anything I can do to help you out, because this is not a Lexington show anymore. We've got people in Cincinnati and Nashville and Louisville and all over listening and podcasts and stuff like that. So Happy to help. Last one. Most fun you ever had wearing Kentucky across your chest, whether it was baseball, whether it was football, whatever memory pops in your head. Could be on the field, could be off the field, could be a memory. I'm stretching this out to give you another second since I'm doing it on the fly here.
I mean, that's a pretty hard deal right there. A pretty loaded question, but I mean, when you think about memories, like, I kind of remember my last game in Commonwealth playing against Vanderbilt, and just the theatrics of that game to be able to, in classic form, scrambling around, things you do as a kid, right? You're scrambling, you're making people miss, you're pointing, you're directing people which way to go, and you launch a ball in the air. You get face planted, you get hit as you throw it. You have one of your guys go up and catch the ball, bring it down for a touchdown, and you hear the crowd go absolutely crazy as your last and final play in front of your home crowd. That ranks up there as probably one of the most, um, in my mind, iconic moments in my career. Just to go out as a winner. We didn't do a lot of winning that season though, but we surely get that last one, to be able to end on. I threw it up to Glenn Holt. He wound up coming down with it. And from better words, like I didn't know he caught it. Only way I knew he catch it is because the crowd went crazy, and we wound up winning. I think won like 14-13, something like that. It was something so amazing. So that was one of my moments I remember it. But then in a weird way, a lot of my memories just came around being with team when we used to have like 6 a.m. morning runs. We used to run the stadium when it was configured obviously different back then. We used to have to run stadium steps and just the grind of playing the game of football. And you look to the left of you, you look to the right of you, you see them bent over and they're tired and they're sweaty and they're bleeding and they're huffing and they're puffing, and all you want to do is how can I help the next person get to the destination, because if they don't get there, we don't get there. So it's just a lot of those memories just play in my mind. And they usually pop up like when I see people, when I see certain teammates, and I can remember those moments I may have had with that particular teammate. And but everything's just it's centered around that. I remember the Tennessee game and how we had them on the ropes and we should have upset them, but being able to, after the game over with, hold my composure, get myself together with realizing this is my last and final game in a Kentucky jersey. But me and Ross Throckmorton um, got on our knees and we prayed and we thanked God just for this amazing opportunity in our career that we had at Kentucky. And that was also caught on camera, which was awesome. Um, but those type of moments just they sit and they still resonate with me. They just stick with me, and I just love the fact that I was able to experience those. And then when you think about all that, kind of helping equate to going into the Hall of Fame with just some amazing people, it's just I'm speechless really when it comes to that. Again, I'm never one about accolades, but when you do get recognized by your peers and when you do get recognized by people who nominate you, some or maybe many who you don't even know, and they have enough in them to say, this is what I felt about this person, and I feel that they are deserving of such a high accolade. I mean, that just fills me with so much joy that I just can't even possibly explain. And then with this collection of people that came before me, from your Damani Dawsons and your Winston Guys and your Shelvin Max and your Brianna Greens, and I'm going in with Erica Taylor, who played for the women's basketball team in Kentucky, and JT Haskins, one of my fiercest competitors, and till this day probably still one of the best athletes I've ever seen in person. It's just an honor just to even be mentioned in the likes of these people. Your Steve Chandlers, who was just probably arguably the best athlete maybe ever in the state of Kentucky. Be first team all state in basketball, baseball, and football, and have your jersey retired in every sport at your school. Like, you're going to have to tell me somebody else in the whole state of Kentucky that's had that done, and even nationally. So, when I'm talked about with these kind of people, it's amazing. I'm just so thankful, and I'm just so happy that my two sons, Braven and Cashel, and my wife, Misty, who is the star of the family. Don't let me get to talking about a first McDonald's Women All American. Unfortunately, she went to Duke, but whatever. She had a great career.
The things
Had
you
an
have to
awesome time.
overcome in life.
Yeah, it's just crazy. She gets drafted to the Comets. She wins a WNBA championship. I mean, she got rings, and I'm just, hopefully now I can maybe, at least for a weekend, I can talk a little noise compared to her accolades. I mean, she was Miss Basketball 3 years in a row. Like, who does that? They had to change the rule because of her. So it's like, it's kind of one of those type of things, but it's awesome to have them here with me. The people that's going to be there, when you're the people who affected me. And I just want to mention a few names, and this is not even close to the amount of them, but when you think about Coach Simpson, when he made the tough decision to start me over some other seniors and and start my career at Henry Clay. I mean, he really went out on a limb for me. Coach Bill Ransdale, you know him. I'm sure you covered him. He was my quarterback coach. I mean, who can say that they were blessed to have a quarterback coach that was a former stud at a SEC school and played in the NFL. Like, just the people that are around me, I was just so blessed with. Coach Daniel Brown, he's going to be in attendance. He's somebody who's coached me and who's allowed me to come back to Henry Clay and coach. I coached at Henry Clay. I was a JV head basketball coach for some years, an assistant varsity coach, and he always continues to have me around and keep me around so the players know me and understand their history. And he was very intricate in nominations for me being inducted into the Henry Clay sports and School Hall of Fame, and just the countless amount of people, from my mom, from my Uncle Glenn, who took me in and raised me, my granny Betty Boyd, my granddaddy B Boyd. I mean, it just goes on and on. I've just been blessed. And then people like you who made sure that you kept it honest with me and kept me in line to always make sure that I never got out of pocket throughout my career.
Bless you. I love you. You're a better person than an athlete, and you were a stud of an athlete. Shane Boyd, one of 23 inductees into the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame. I got chills with the last 5-10 minutes. Enjoy every second. Slow it down. Take every second in. You're the best. Thank you, man.
Thank you, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too. See you. Shane Boyd. Woo. He's a better person than an athlete. He only threw like 95 miles an hour, messing around on the mound. I need to find out how many people have done that in the history of college football. Scored 3 different ways. Pretty remarkable, don't you think, Sean?
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. I do know one guy who did the 3-way touchdown. Was Christian McCaffrey did it at Stanford.
Oh, I forgot. That is correct. And I bet there are some great football players at small schools who also did it. But there can't be very many. Unbelievable. Hal McCoy coming up next. Thank you, Shane. Your season, your shot. The NFL is rolling. Every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime TV props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. I'm really on this Bengals thing for a couple of reasons. One, it's the Bengals, and two, because I have found this fascinating with Carson Wentz and Jake Browning, backup quarterback starting. The line has moved a little towards the Bengals, which is interesting. Bengals are underdogs by 3, and I like Browning a ton. I mean a ton. Yeah, he had 3 picks last week, but he had the game-winning drive and then leaped over the line and scored a winning touchdown. I think there was less than 20 seconds to go. I like him a lot, and I still think he's better than some starting quarterbacks in the NFL. The Bengals finally got smart and have themselves a big-time backup. So we will see. I'm not giving you advice. New customers, this is for you. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly, plus score over 200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code LEXSports. That's code LEXSports and get 200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over 200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus, Kentucky only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. Thank you, Shane. God bless you. Jacob Polachek, that was really good. Hal McCoy coming up next. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
The Alan Cutler Show on ESPN 92.5 and 1300 AM and on the ESPN Lexington app. Presented by Republic Bank.
I guess Littleton's just early. He's sitting in the waiting room. Littleton Ward.
Okay. You want to call Hal and I'll send Littleton a text?
Yep. Calling him now.
Thanks.
All right. Hal is in. You're back in 45.
Okay.
Three 2771 to see if auto owners insurance makes sense for you.
Down, set, hack. Corn dogs coming in for the blitz.
Rick, what are you doing?
Brent, I'm practicing my snack plays for the next football game.
Well, in that case, Uncle Rick, stop by any Clutch Stop and Shop and pick up 5-hour energy shots, 2 for $4.99, or Uncle Ray's potato chips, 8-ounce bags, 2 for $6.
Don't get sidelined without your supplies this football season. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Hear the best SEC talk in America on the Paul Feinbaum Show with me, Paul Feinbaum. Weekdays 3 to 7 on ESPN 92.5 and 1300 AM.
Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
Welcome back. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM. What an emotional half hour with Shane Boyd talking about his career, his life, going into the Lexington African American Hall of Fame. Jacob Polachek was wonderful about the little altercation, words between Kelsey and Pope on that recruiting visit on September 2nd. And now, one of the joys of the show is always getting to chat with Hal McCoy. And if you are on Facebook and you don't follow Hal, shame on you. His columns are spectacular. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. When you go to Cooperstown, look him up. He's there. Hal, how are you, brother?
I'm same as always, man, hanging in there.
Well, you hang tough. So last night, Green was past unbelievable. Throws a complete game shutout. He was spectacular. He looks thinner, by the way, like he's lost a bunch of weight. I was watching the post-game stuff. He's a big man, but he was a lot thicker. It seems like he's lost weight anyway. And one of the comments he made was, he said he was kind of sad that the Reds don't get the support like the other teams who are fighting for it. Like, you can't get a seat in Philadelphia all the time. And my thought is, if the fans in Cincinnati believed that the Reds could be as good as Philadelphia, it would have been packed last night. And they're not there because not enough people believe to put their money down. I don't mean to start negative, but do you agree with me?
I agree absolutely, and I have noticed that all along. They're in this fight for the wild card, and if they get 25,000, it's considered a good crowd. And like you say, you see these other teams filling up, San Diego and all these other places, and the Reds don't do it because the Reds don't believe in ownership, and I don't think they believe that the ownership really wants to win. I think they believe ownership is happy if they finish 500 and make money.
It's not like Milwaukee spends a ton of money, but they sure do a really good job picking players. And when they trade a player like a Williams, who went to the Yankees, and I thought he would be good, but he's been terrible for him this year. They get a guy like Durbin, who I loved, and I screamed the day after the trade happened because I thought he was a potentially great young player, and he's been great for them. And they know when they're dumping a player because of salary and they have somebody else to fill that slot for cheap, they seem to almost always get a really good prospect back, and they're much better at it than the Reds. Agree?
Absolutely. And when they let Willie Adames go, I thought, that's the end of them, because I thought Adames was the heart and soul of that team, a leader and a very good player and a good shortstop, and they let him go, and they do even better. It's amazing.
Young Ortiz, who's cheap, has more range, can't hit like Adames, and maybe someday. And Adames, it took a while before he started hitting those home runs, but he's a better fielder. And so they got two guys on the left side of their infield that are making like minimum, and they're both really, really good and hard-nosed and play hard. And I'm going, why the hell can't the Reds do this?
A smaller market with a lower payroll than the Reds, and yet there they are every year competing. They absolutely know what they're doing.
I don't follow Milwaukee like I do the Reds, but I do follow them. And I can't remember the last time they made this huge financial mistake, giving somebody like a $64 million contract to play third base when he was fat, old, out of shape, and they had to dump him and eat money. They don't do things like that, and the Reds have done it a lot.
Yes, they have, and you're right, absolutely. Milwaukee does not do that. They do their homework, and sometimes I wonder if the Reds even try to do their homework with some of the decisions they make and some of the washed-up guys they bring into play.
I guess I disagree with you. I think they do their homework, and I think it shows you how bad they are at times making decisions, which might be just as bad, if not worse, no?
Well, if they do their homework, they don't do it right, that's for sure.
Agree 100%. I want to be nice here. I think it's great that Francona is the skipper of the Reds, but oftentimes when you see somebody on a daily basis, you can see warts that you can't see from a distance. He's loyal to his players, but I think he's way too loyal. He's like almost uptight about pulling the plug. For example, Sal Stewart ripping the tar off the cover of the ball. They finally bring him up. They say they're going to play him every day, and they don't, because they need to play Steer, who should be in left field, and Hayes should be the DH, but that's neither here nor there. And you got this guy who's one of the most exciting young hitters in all of baseball, and he's with the Reds. He should be getting 4 at-bats every day, and he sat and can't get into a rhythm. And I look at the lineup every day just to see, is this kid in there? How dumb can you be not putting this kid in the lineup every single day and move Steer somewhere else? And Lux has had a bad year for them. He's not very good, and I thought he'd be better. And you're probably not going to keep Hayes because he's going to probably command more money than they can pay him. So Steer will probably be your left fielder next year. Why are they not playing Stewart every single day? And when he's in there, he really produces.
Could not agree more, and it doesn't just involve Steer. I'm like you. I love Terry Francona. I've watched him being a Cleveland fan. I watched him when he was in Cleveland, and loved him when he was a player. And yet now that you see him every day, he makes some curious decisions at times, and that means who he sends up to pinch hit, and when he does and doesn't pinch hit, when he doesn't try to move the runners over, things of that nature. And you put it perfectly. You do see the warts, and I have seen a lot of them this year.
I say this with respect, and I don't have the answer, but I do ask questions. is it possible? And I'm being careful here, and I'm not being disrespectful, Hal, with all the physical problems that he's had, that he's not the same manager that he was 10, 15 years ago?
Perfectly said. I watch him do his post-game interviews and the way he answers them and the way he pauses, the way he does not complete sentences and skips around his thoughts. I have the same wonderings as you do. And, I'm not being careful. That's what I think. I think that maybe his health is not as good as it should be to be a manager of a Major League Baseball team.
Al, shame on me. You no-filtered me.
Well, like I say, I love the guy, but I watch those post-game interviews, and I feel sorry for him because he just skips around, and he's really slow at answering answers.
Yes, he is.
He doesn't always give the answer that he's asked, and sometimes he stops in mid-sentence and looks away.
Yes. Okay. I have to no-filter back. I mean, I believe this. I'm not trying to play one up you, Hal. I think you know me better than that. But the two words I wrote down that I didn't say, I'm just going to say now. He almost is acting like a player who's past his prime, doesn't know when to retire, missed the game so much that he came back, and he's almost like someone who's, I hate to say it, I'm just going to say it, somebody who's hanging on.
I will not agree with you there. I know that, he's spent a year away from the game. He probably found out how much he missed it and wanted to get back into it. And the Reds grabbed him, and he's still, the players love him because of the way he treats them and acts. But as far as running the baseball team on the field, I have just seen some shortcomings that I didn't think that I would see.
Me neither. And see, that's the other part is I do think he has a way with people that amplify their performance, and not every manager does that. And that, it appears to be that he still has that. But the other part,
Yes,
strategy and stuff like that, I don't get it. Let me give you an example. As of the other day, I didn't look it up last night, but Benson, who he didn't start for weeks and weeks and weeks, and is a really good defensive player. I'm not saying he's a Gold Glove,
right,
but he's a really good defensive player, plays all positions, really good guy. He's a hell of an athlete, can hit lefties. Everybody who follows him knows he can't hit lefties. Against righties in 189 at-bats, he had 10 home runs and 35 RBIs. You can't get, everybody knows, 600 at-bats if you're not playing against lefties. But if you average that out over 600 bats, you're talking about, in excess, we'll just say, 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. In other words, when he plays against right-handers, he's really good. I mean, really good. I'm not saying he's the best player on the team. He's not in the top four, but he's really good. And I'm looking at his numbers. I'm going, when I'm smarter than the Reds, they're dumb. They're just dumb. He should be in a platoon system in the outfield with somebody. I'll give you an example. Anderhart kills left-handed pitching. He kills, and he and Anderhart should split left field, and then late in games when the Reds are up and Anderhart starts, you pull him because he's not good defensively. He's got no speed. He doesn't have instincts. He doesn't go left or right very well, but he can catch a fly ball to him. Okay? Then you put him in the eighth inning if the Reds are up 5-4, and if he has to bat against a lefty, you live with it. But I'm looking at those two guys. It doesn't cost much money. And between the two of them, offensively, they would be studly. And I see it. What the hell is wrong with them?
Yeah, they would be the power source that the Reds need and what they look for, but they have right there. Andujar can't play right now in the field because he's got bad legs. But being healthy, that makes a whole lot of sense. And ever since Eric Davis tinkered with Will Benson's swing, his swing is so pretty. Every time he comes up there against a right-hander, I know he's going to hit the ball hard, and he always does. And he has really surprised me with his defense. He is very, very good. And to me, he should be playing every day against right-handers.
I know what I would do with Anderhar. He's not going to cost you a lot of money. You sit him down, you say, look, we like you. Okay? Lose a bunch of weight. do yoga, do whatever,
Yep.
get your legs in great shape, and get ready to play at least 60 games in left field, and I bet we can DH you another 40, 50 times, and we can get you 400 at bats, and you'll be a great addition. And he's supposed to be now a really good dude. I'm not saying he was bad, but he's mature and stuff like that. And you have a cheat. That's the kind of thing Milwaukee does. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And they would both be fresh because you get a little rest and stuff like that. And I'm going, they're going to probably spend some money on some guy, and it's right in front of their nose. How stupid can they be? Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I agree wholeheartedly, and I don't think there will be much demand out there for Andujar. So he would come cheap, and if they would do something like you said, he'd be absolutely willing to sign. Where do I sign?
I'm surprised they're still in it.
I have written them off 4 times, and there they are still. 2 games behind the Mets, and the way the Mets have been up and down, there's still a chance that they could catch them. Every time I think they're done, they come back and get back in it.
Okay, my thought is, if you and I ran the team, and this is how we'd run it, and you tell me I'm wrong, please, please, please. I love you, Hal. I do. I have you're like my uncle. I might start calling you Uncle Hal on the show. If you and I ran the team, the requirement would be you would always have the best Cuban cigar, and there'd be plenty of coffee for both of us, and we would be smart enough to listen to the scouts, and then we make the decision collectively. And if we disagree, we disagree, but when we leave the room, be the same. Here's my point. I actually think the Reds, tell me I'm stupid, I actually think the Reds are closer than people realize. I really do. If you got a guy who's a starter in the minor leagues and he's now doing it, I'm going blank on his name, I'm sorry, and they stuck him in the pen and now he's doing a really good job. Take starters who don't make it and stick them in the pen. They don't switch guys enough and that kind of thing. I don't think that far. But yes, well, Burns is one, and who's the other guy who's now doing it? Oh, he's been up for
Martinez, Nick Martinez.
No, not Martinez. Is one other guy. Sorry, Hal. I'll look it up while we're talking. You're asking me to walk and chew.
All right.
But Martinez said 21 million was dumb. Was just dumb.
Yes.
Yes. Martinez should be in the bullpen, and if you can't get him for $5 million a year, somebody will pay him probably $15 million to be a starter. God bless, more power to him. He's a great guy, but it was a dumb contract outside of his 1 year. I really think that you could, in the offseason, make enough additions, and I want to know what they're doing with their training regimen with every player in the offseason. I don't want to see another fat body again. You're going to be fat, and I'm going to fine you like crazy. And we're going to do a test starting in spring training about running a 6-minute mile and doing all kinds of things, and you can't play until you do it. I'm serious. I remember, you know this better than me, that the Reds ran a ton in spring training, and I remember watching an interview with Joe Morgan, said they could still run in September because Sparky put them through so much running. They can be in better shape. Bellies would be gone. Pay attention. And you know what? If you change 5 or 6 players, I think it's a playoff team. Tell me I'm crazy.
No, I think you're right. I think they absolutely have the talent. They have the right youth and the right mix with some veterans, and I certainly agree on getting them in shape, because I see especially guys coming out of the bullpen with bellies hanging over their belt. I mean, that can't be good, but they do have them, and I can remember going to spring training and getting out to the ballpark early in the morning, and Sparky would be running their butts off back and forth, foul line to foul line, and the guys would be bitching and complaining, but come September, it made a difference.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. The fans deserve more. For example, Sam Moll shouldn't be on the team. Nice guy and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, some of the things they do is just absolutely baffling. And by the way, does Ellie De La Cruz have 30 errors yet? He doesn't, but you know what I'm saying.
He will have.
Oh, I don't think he's going to hit 30. You think he might hit 30?
No, you got 25. I know there's only 9 games left. I'm being facetious.
I
But,
know you are. I wanted, just in case somebody took you the wrong way.
Yeah. But in my next blog, I point out that the career leader in errors all time, believe it or not, is Ty Cobb with 272. And I said, but Dela Cruz may join him before his career is over.
I'm not looking this up, but didn't Ty Cobb play 24 years? I'm going to look this up.
Yes, he did.
Was it 24? Do I actually remember correctly without looking it up? I'm looking it up.
I know it's in the low 20s. That's about 21 errors a year, 22.
Oh my gosh, I'm really proud of myself. I didn't look it up.
Yep,
I just
24.
did. Played 24 years from 1905 to 1928 and died with basically no friends because he was such a human being.
But a millionaire.
He bought Coke very early.
Yeah, Coke stock at the very beginning, and was a multimillionaire.
I remember seeing a taped interview of him shortly before he passed, and this is obviously a long time ago, and the recording isn't very good, and his voice was weak because he was old, and he talked about how he wished he was a nicer guy and had more friends.
Yeah, I think I saw that same interview. Yeah. You realize in 1909 he won the Triple Crown, and he hit 9 home runs. All 9 were inside the park.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Wow.
Amazing.
And Babe Ruth, I think the year he hit 54 home runs, had more home runs than the rest of the American League, all the teams combined. Am I right about that?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Last thing on the Reds. God bless you. I miss your voice. Isn't that silly? But I really miss hearing your voice. What do you see for the future of the Reds? You can't imagine Tito won't be back.
No, I know. Like I think I've talked to you about before. I think he must have gotten some assurances from the Reds that they're going to change their ways and the way they acquire players. We will see in this offseason what they do. But I can't imagine Tito would come back without any assurances that they were going to do things better and differently to actually try to win. Although, as we discussed earlier, maybe he just came back because he missed it, and the Reds were somebody who offered him a job, and he took it. But I got to believe that other teams would have been interested in him too, and that he got some assurances from the Reds that he will have some bigger input than previous managers have had, and things are going to get better about the way they operate, and keep Bob Castellini out of the way.
Did anybody else offer him a job? Because one of the curious things, and I don't know this, but I haven't asked you, that when the Reds went after him, there were better teams who had been looking for managers that you would think he would have jumped at that opportunity at his age, and I say this with respect, to have a better shot at winning. Did I miss something? I always thought that was curious.
I don't think other teams offered him. I think other teams thought that he was serious in his retirement, and I think Marty Brenneman talked to Tito, and Tito expressed interest. I've taken a year off. I missed the game. I want to come back. And Marty went to the front office and said, go after this guy, and they did.
It's amazing how much power Marty has. Hal, I look forward to your column every day on Facebook. It is great. You no-filtered me. I have to take my hat off to you, Hal.
Well, I may hear repercussions, but you know me. I got to tell it like it is.
Absolutely.
Maybe not like it is, but how I feel.
And you know what? After 50-something years covering the Reds, anybody who doesn't respect your opinion should go, pardon my French. I just did it on the air. That was with my mouth, by the way. Bless you.
All right.
Stay
bless
healthy.
You too.
God bless you, and hopefully you'll carve out time next week or the week after for me. And it's a joy. It's just a joy.
Anytime, Alan. You know that. I love talking to you.
Back at you. Thank you, Hal McCoy.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Sean, he's the best. He's just the best. I mean, think about what's going on so far today. Jacob Polachek, who had a did a wonderful job for KSR with the whatever the altercation was or disagreement between Kelsey and Pope. Then we had Shane Boyd from the Heart. It was absolutely beautiful. And then Hal McCoy, a Hall of Famer. And then coming up, another Hall of Famer, Littleton Ward, going into the Lexington African American Hall of Fame. Blue Lotus Health, 859-533-0914. 859-533-0914. Now also providing a licensed massage therapist, acupuncture. Ramon Carriega, on for sales. He's a special man. He can help you. He's helped me. You are worth it. Everybody is worth it. You know what I would do if I ran insurance companies? I would provide acupuncture as part of the policy because they would save money in the long run in doctor bills. I really believe it. I believe about that, and I believe about deep tissue massage. The insurance companies aren't smart. They would save money, which they're more interested in helping you. Maybe, maybe not. Depends how you look at it. Maybe they need to be open-minded. Don't sue me, insurance companies. Let's just say I would wish insurance companies would be more open-minded. Can I say that, Sean, without getting sued? Think it's okay? I don't mean the first part. It's frustrating that everybody can't get acupuncture. 859-533-0914. 859-533-0914. I'm not being negative towards insurance companies. I just wish they were more open-minded. That's a better way of putting it, and I'll stand by that. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
The Alan Cutler Show on ESPN 92.5 and 1300 AM and on the ESPN Lexington app. Presented by Republic Bank.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no-filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
Down, set, hack, corn dogs coming in for the blitz.
Rick, what are you doing?
Brent, I'm practicing my snack plays for the next football game.
Well, in that case, Uncle Rick, stop by any Clutch Stop and Shop and pick up assorted Reese's king-size candy bars, 2 for $4, and Sour Patch or Swedish Fish peg bags, 2 for $6.
Don't get sidelined without your supplies this football season. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
My name is Terry Schultz, CEO for the Rutherford County Area Habitat for Humanity. Republic Bank has really been a game changer. They have invested not only financially, but time to really listen so that we can move our mission forward. What I like about Republic Bank is they've come in asking, what are your needs? And I don't know that you get that any other place.
That's Terry's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. The Quantrill Auto Group has a great deal for this month. Subaru! The Outback is special, so check this out. 0%. That's right, 0% interest for 36 months. And if you want to spread it out to 72 months, 1.9%. What a deal! 0% interest for 36 months. Don't forget, the Quantrill family of dealerships is the right place to get your next Subaru, and they promise you the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks.
ESPN 92.5 and 1300. Live and local. Weekdays from 10 to 3. Get the ESPN Lexington app. Just search ESPN Sports Lexington in your app store. The only no-filter sports show in Kentucky. It's the Alan Cutler Show with award-winning TV sportscaster Alan Cutler.
And the young man I'm very proud of, Littleton Ward. He's the principal at Bourbon County Middle School. Too small, too short to play DB at Kentucky, but don't tell him that because he's one tough dude.
Absolutely.
And had a wonderful career at Kentucky. 40 games he played. Started over 20 games. Close to Bill Curry. And a new member, as in Shane Boyd. Littleton, I don't know if you heard it, but you need to listen to the podcast, how emotional Shane was. Listen to the podcast after the show between 12:30 and 1. It was Shane was beautiful.
Was it?
Yeah, he was just beautiful.
He's a very emotional dude.
Yes. Yeah. And we go back to when he was 16 years old, because when he got the starting quarterback job at Henry Clay, I don't know if I was there that week, maybe the week after, it was pretty close. So
Yeah.
relationship has been tight forever.
That's good stuff, man.
Oh, hey, I was in Oregon and he took me around Nike and asked me, about 3 years in a row, you're not, I mean, he's a very, very, very special person. And so are you, what you're doing with education.
Yes, sir.
You are one of 3 wards now when you go in tomorrow night in the Lexington African American Hall of Fame. I saw it on the list and I'm going,
yeah,
help me out here for a second, but I want to talk about you because I know the other awards, but you help me.
Well, the thing is that I went in last year.
Right.
Sterling's going in this year.
Right.
My brother Belter went in 2023.
Okay, I forgot about that. That's my bad.
No, you good. And I went in 2024, and Sterling's going in this year.
Well, I know you, and we had you on the air before you went in, so I knew.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk to you about your brothers a little bit, but more about you and what it meant for you.
Oh, okay.
Going in the hall and the fact, Shane was getting all emotional with me. He'll be more emotional tomorrow night. I mean, it's okay to be soft. Did you cry when you went in? And there's nothing wrong with crying.
No, it was a big deal, Alan, because I'm from the city of Lexington, and I was a hometown kid, and to be able to get an opportunity. You see my career from a high school, from a junior high kid all the way up to high school. So you've seen it. But just being able to be appreciated by your peers and also the community, seeing that what you put forth and what you put out there. I mean, I think that being a local talent and hearing from the positives of what people see a view of you in your city is extremely important and extremely prestigious in that area. So, but I was emotional, I guess, during the week because I did an interview with 18 News with Keith Farmer and everybody as well. So it didn't really hit me until I started thinking about more of all the journey. The journey is what really hit me because of all the workouts I've done outside. And I'm running on Windburn Drive and running on Russell Cave area and, training in the off season like crazy at Windburn area when you weren't really known about anything.
But if you don't do those workouts when nobody's watching, you don't get in the Hall of Fame. And I think that's a lesson for other young people that are listening. It's what you do when no one is watching, which is the key. Unless, you're gifted so well. It's not that you weren't gifted. That's not what I'm saying, Littleton. But you know what I'm saying? If you didn't put in that extra work when the coaches didn't know you were doing it, you wouldn't have. I don't think you'd be principal at Bourbon County Middle School. You develop the work ethic, and those that develop a work ethic and then let it carry over for the rest of their life, it's about 99% successful. And then you've seen guys and gals that had the discipline as an athlete, and then they didn't carry it over to their life, and they weren't successful. It's an oversimplification, but you agree with that?
Oh, I absolutely agree with it. I mean, you got to put in your work or put in your time to be able to get your reward. And all I knew, I was focused. My focus was basically from how my father brought me up and my parents brought me up. It's just you had to work for what you got, work for what you want to be successful in. And hard work was not a problem, man. It's just that you had to put your time in and put in what you need to put in to make sure things go in the right direction. But if you don't put anything into it, then don't expect anything out of it. That's the reality. And that's what I try to teach young people as I'm a principal at school, and as I continue to work with students and athletes outside of school, is that you got to learn how to be able to provide and develop a work ethic. Because if you don't have a work ethic, then you're not going to be able to get through the tough times when you think things are really, when things get really tough for you when you want to succeed. So, we'll continue to be able to build on that and continue to pour into other people on that avenue. And, but you're right. The work ethic is top notch, and it needs to be that if you want to be able to reach high levels of success in anything that you do.
All right. I got to ask you about UK and DBs. I got to tap your knowledge. Okay.
UK DBs.
You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. So Stoops said before the season, bragged on the DBs. Great. They've had injuries, all part of it.
Yeah.
Guys can play hurt. Some guys you hurt so much you can't play. It just is what it is. Against Ole Miss, the big thing was the quarterback. I made a huge deal of the yaks. That Ole Miss, everybody knows, Stoops knows, everybody knows, the players know. Short pass, boom, break a tackle. They got fast guys, they go. That's what they do. There's no secret there. The secret is in the execution. He's always had quarterbacks that release the ball quickly, tight spiral, get it to guys where they want, and they go. I knew it was a lot. I didn't realize it was 107 yards of yaks in the first half. And if you're watching on YouTube, Littleton, your face was priced.
Oh my God. Man.
So they did the same thing, and I'm a big believer that if something works, keep on doing the darn thing until somebody stops you. Enough coaches don't do that. They do at Ole Miss. It's one of the smart things about them, and they would do the same thing. The little hitch, spin to the outside, to the outside, to the outside, and then the athletes of Ole Miss, I was disappointed how much faster they were than the Kentucky athletes, and they destroyed them. And against Eastern Michigan, they almost had like 500 yards. I know the young man who played quarterback for Eastern Michigan, started some games at Michigan State, and he's a nice quarterback, and there are all kinds of guys that are really good and don't get a chance and go somewhere else, and they're really good. I'm not knocking it all, but he destroyed Kentucky. He was slicing and dicing them up like crazy, and he shouldn't have been able to do it. I thought the defense would be good enough to get to a bowl game, and to me, the thing was, how would the offensive be the special passing game? I think the passing game is going to be better now than people think, but that's neither here nor there. You got to watch this. I know you. I know you're coaching the stand. I know you're watching these kids, and you're saying, "Don't do this, don't do that, don't do." So they're down to they're going very deep because guys are hurt. I get it, but Alabama has to go deep, so I don't want to hear this crap that you got to go deep. You either play or you can't. You're either good enough or you can't. I'm tired of this stuff when somebody says, "Oh, they have a tough schedule." Shut up. Tennessee has a tough schedule. Shut up. Georgia has a tough schedule. Yeah. You're in the SEC. If not, go to the Pamper League or go to the SEC. Anybody who says schedule to me that they're tough, I'm just going to go, shut up. That's what you signed. That's what this league is. It's not getting tough when you played. It's not like all of a sudden now it's tough because Mark Stoops. I know. Stop it. Point is, what would you say to these DBs? I mean,
you come to the SEC for a reason.
Yeah, these guys have been bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You want to play against tough talent. I mean, that's why you come. That's why I came to the SEC. I want to play you want to play against the best of the best. Right. The only thing I can say is that am
I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right about, you come to those levels to play at a high level and play with the best players, play against the best players. So there's no need to come to that conference if you don't want to do that, because that's what's going to happen. But as far as the DB play, I mean, Ole Miss has players on NIL and scholarships, and UK does too. You got to make plays, man. You can't make any excuses. When guys throw balls out there to wide receivers, your job as a defensive back is to make the play. That's just point blank. And all you have to do is just be able to make the tackle, to be honest with you. So you're not getting those yak yards. Those yak yards, they kill you. They do. They break a defense down. So what needs to happen is as they throwing quick screens out there, as Ole Miss was doing with the offense, and Lane Kiffin was rolling with that, all the DBs could shut that down and do is when they catch those balls, bang, you right there, make the play, get off the field. Because they're gonna do what they do, but you can't allow them to get momentum and be able to yak you up. And you're right. They did go a little deep in their secondary. I saw that against Eastern Michigan as well. It was a couple kids out there that I was like, wow, they're not SEC wide receivers, and you guys cannot cover these guys. So what are you going to do again when you get back to SEC wide receivers? With some of the guys on the edge, some of the corners on the edge, I was surprised to see that. So, it to me is focus and what you're teaching. Teaching and focus, man. But you're SEC defensive back, there's no excuse. If you're supposed to be 6'1", 6'2", $185, $190 nowadays is what they like. It's what a lot of recruiters like now. That's what they like, the long, big guys that they think that's going to be better than the smaller guys that are 5'10" and $180. There's no difference, to be honest with you, because a lot of it's between your ears and what your heart is. And everybody got to play good technique. I don't care how big you are. If you're a big guy as a defensive back and has poor technique, you're just as useless as a 5'9" guy, $175 that is a position where they can probably be just as good as you, but they're less with height. So it is no difference in some ways, but they make a big difference in recruiting now because that's the wave. But UK cornerbacks, they're nice sized kids, but they haven't been performing pretty well. I can tell you that.
Okay, how much money would you have made in the NFL if you were 6'1" and 195 as a cornerback?
I'll be retired. I'll be retired and
I
done
didn't mean to
and
get
done
you
and
upset.
done. I've been retired and done really well. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, you defied the odds anyway. Okay.
Tried to.
You've retired. We've been, I think, friends for a long time, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be straight up with me?
I'm always straight up.
Okay. You know, how tall were you really when you played, and what did you really weigh? Now, I want the truth a little.
Again.
Wait a second. No. We go back to your days at Bryan Station. This is a long time.
Yeah, you
Come
do.
on, give me the truth.
On which in college?
When you came to Kentucky.
Oh, when I came to Kentucky.
When you came to Kentucky, was it 94, something like that?
I came in 93.
Okay, close enough. Come on, I'm an old guy.
In 93, I was probably about 5'8", $160, probably.
Now, I'm going to stop you. I'm sorry, Littleton. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. When somebody to me says about 5'8", that tells me 5'7".
No, I was 5'8". No, I wasn't 5'7".
Scout's honor?
Scout's honor was 5'8".
I believe you. Okay, and what did you weigh?
About 160.
I don't know if I've ever asked you this. A bunch of guys have done this. Did you put weight in your pockets when you went to weigh to be a little heavier?
On down the road, I did, and I think I would say my sophomore year when we had to weigh in the off season, we've done those things. Yeah, we used to. Yeah, 'cause we had to meet weight. We didn't meet weight. We had consequences in the off season.
What was the consequences?
It was called. I think we had to do extra running. It would have missed the odds. We had to do extra running for that.
Wait. Okay, look. It would seem to me they would say, okay, have a protein shake 10 o'clock at night. We'll deliver it to your blank dorm room. And extra running, it's tough to keep your weight on. Isn't that the wrong punishment? I would have said, okay, hey, Littleton, you're too light. Here's what we're going to do. 7:30 in the morning before classes, whatever you have for breakfast, you're going to have a big protein shake. And then you have dinner 6, 7 o'clock with us.
They used to load us up with we had a lot of protein. It took a lot of stuff, man. But I mean, I was this type of person that my metabolism was crazy. I was strong as all get out, but
you were strong.
I couldn't keep weight on, man. So I had to balance with strength, speed, and quickness. I had to be able to balance it out. That's what made me be able to perform the way I did at SEC level when I gave my opportunity.
Wesley Woodyard also put weights in for the weight.
He did.
Josh Allen did.
Look at that.
Who else? Can you think of somebody else there? The other guys out there.
Anthony White did too.
I forgot about AW. AW did it too. Anybody else?
I don't know. I would say probably Craig East probably did too because he wasn't that big either.
No, but he had, he like you had body fat of 0.
Yeah.
And besides, when you run about a 3.9 40, he ran a 4.35 40. When you run a 4.35 40 and you have no body fat, like I just say next.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So you had to be special. But I have no excuses for I would say with as far as that DB play, you gotta find ways to get it fixed, man. Because the schedule doesn't get any easier at all.
I don't want to hear about schedule. Too bad.
No, you're right. I'm just saying it's part of it.
Okay, you're a DB. You could coach DBs. I can't. But I've watched a couple football games, okay?
Yeah, you could watch a couple of them, yeah.
So it seems to me that when you have these young kids, they're not comfortable. I get that. And they're so uptight about getting beat deep on a pass, they're giving too much space to like the Ole Miss wide receivers. And those guys are so quick that you can't make the tackle because a guy puts a move on you and there's too much space in between the DB and the wide receiver. And I'm saying, okay, I get it if you don't want to go chest to chest. I get it. But they gave him too much space. And I'm watching this. I'm going, they have too much space. Don't call me coach, but am I right?
Well, you want to close that space. So it depends on what they're doing as far as the scheme.
Right. But you don't want to have that much space. I thought they gave him that term that you've heard a million times. They gave the Ole Miss receivers and Eastern Michigan too much respect.
Yeah, right. They did. And I believe that if you do give them a little space, you shouldn't be moving too much where you are. You see what I'm saying? You should be walking out of your pedal very smoothly and being able to get ready to break downhill. But yeah, when you give guys space, they're gonna get have an opportunity to exploit you and make you look real bad.
I got
So
I got 30 seconds.
okay.
Give a plug for your son.
Oh, yes, we're down on my son's Elijah Ward. He's cornerback at Woodford County High School. They down here in Orlando playing against Heritage Palm Bay in a classic down here. It's the KSA Events Classic. But Elijah's come a long ways, man. He's a senior this year. He's enjoying himself. Dennis Johnson's doing a great job with the kids, and he's got some offers here, and he's still performing now. So we'll see how the season go the rest of the year. But I'm proud of my son, academically more than anything else, and positive kid, man, and just continue to be able to look out for him, Alan, for sure. But he's going to continue to make noise, absolutely.
You know what? I love what you said. Academically more than
Yes, sir.
anything else.
Yes, sir.
Good for you. Not surprised, but that needs to be pointed out. Hey, bless you. I appreciate the heck out of you. If you can fit it in your schedule, some Mondays after games, if you can join me for about 15 minutes with your analysis of the game, if we can work it out. If we can't, that's fine. But I'd love to have you on the air a little bit more if that works for you.
Absolutely. I would. You're good dude, Alan. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you too.
Yes, sir.
Academically more important about your son. It's a home run.
Yes, sir.
It's
Yes,
a home
sir.
run. Bless you. Enjoy every second. And I'm glad you finally admitted the 5'8", 160.
I take it easy, Alan.
Wait, one more. Was it really 5'8", 155? Come on.
No.
5'8", 160?
There you go.
You realize I was 160 in like third grade. Bless you, Littleton.
Bless you, man. Take it
Have
easy.
a good one. See ya.
Right.
Oh, Sean, he's great. He's just great. He's great. He really is. Hey, don't forget about Terry Page. Terry Page. Go to naturalhealingandpainrelief.com. Naturalhealingandpainrelief.com. Set a free appointment up, 10 minutes. Schedule a phone call. Talk to Terry about your needs and how she can help you. She's been great for me in Butler, Kentucky, the first 2 days of the week. In Lexington, the rest of the week. Special healer, 859-373-0578, 859-373-0578. Sean, I'll tell you what, we've had a great week of shows, and this one really tops the cake. Shane's emotion about his career and his life going into the Lexington African American Hall of Fame was wonderful. Jacob Palchek, a young reporter for KSR, did a really good job on the altercation, whatever it was, between Pope and Kelsey was really good. And Littleton Ward is Littleton Ward. He's always been a favorite for mine for whatever. And I just love how he said academics first, athletics second. And if you follow Littleton on Twitter, he's putting stuff and he's texting me on all the good stuff his son is doing. And it's really, really, really good. It's been a great week. I've had a lot of fun. Sean, thank you for keeping this shit up afloat. I know at times it seems like I got water in my boat. Is that about right?
Yeah, your nose is barely above water half this week.
Can you imagine if I was an engineer? Would
No.
my family
Lord,
would
no.
starve?
Yeah, you yes.
Would you say the system we have here, that credit to you, is very simplistic? Yes, I've had some difficulties with it. Would you say that?
Yeah, I believe they call it plug and play. Except it's, plug and no, don't push that button. No, not that one. No.
Unfortunately, I resemble that remark, and I deserve that remark. Hey, man, have a good weekend. Always appreciate your help. Brad Taylor coming up next. Matthew and Jimmy back on Monday. I'll be back at noon. Sean, seriously, thank you, dude. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. I'm telling you, if you just catch it on and say, hey, I almost said a four-letter word. This was a great show. The guests were great. Alan Cutler, thank you for listening. Thank you for telling one friend. This thing is growing and growing and growing thanks to you. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM. 92.5 FM.
The Alan Cutler Show.